Good, happy Wednesday evening, everyone. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Wednesday evening edition of Sports with Riley King. Let's get started right now. First up, the Boston Bruins. They had a game last night, and the final score of the Boston Bruins game: Toronto Maple Leafs 6 and Boston Bruins 4. The Toronto Maple Leafs won the game last night. Toronto Maple Leafs are 42-19-5, and Boston Bruins are 41-20-5. And Boston Bruins are 4th in the Atlantic Division. And the Boston Bruins, they play tomorrow night against the Devils. Hopefully they can win that game tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Boston Red Sox, they had a game earlier today, a spring training game earlier today, and the final score of their spring training game was Boston Red Sox 10 and Atlanta Braves 7. The Boston Red Sox won the spring training game earlier today. Congratulations, Boston Red Sox. And the Boston Red Sox, they have another spring training game tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. against the Twins. And a big game for the Boston Celtics tonight at the TD Garden in Boston. It is the third in Eastern Conference for the Boston Celtics. And they will be playing Miami Heat at 7:30 p.m. at the TD Garden in Boston. Let's go Boston Celtics. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. The Miami Heat is 48-28 and Boston Celtics are 47-29. Game time is at 7:30 p.m. You can watch tonight's big game on Bally Sports Sun, ESPN, ESPN Desperados, and NBC Sports Boston. Let's go Boston Celtics, third in Eastern Conference. So the Eastern Conference game, a big game tonight. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. Let's go Boston Celtics. And with Robert Williams out, who do the Celtics turn to for filling his role? Let's take a listen to that video from Nesson Sports.
What's up, everyone? George Bolecki here in the PNC Bank Sports Corner. The Celtics now have an idea of when Robert Williams will be back in their lineup, given the 4 to 6 week recovery from surgery on his torn meniscus. But until the Time Lord is back for the C's, how do they try to fill his role? For starters, there's no replicating what Rob Williams does on both ends of the floor. But the Celtics have the guys to weather the storm until he's back. Al Horford on offense can step into that 5 spot, with Grant Williams as his backup, which would become a smaller lineup for the C's when he's on the floor. Then Daniel Theis, well, he'll see his average of 15 minutes a game spike. The bigger concern is his defensive role of playing off the ball and stepping in for help defense. Maybe that becomes Horford again. After all, the Celtics have the on-ball talent to make that shift easier. For now, the C's have 6 games left to experiment what may work for the playoffs. Until then, they have to figure it out. PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of Sports with Riley King. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening. Good night and goodbye.